Saradomin, the god of order, wisdom, and light, first shows up in mythology during the First Age of Gielinor, as it is often said that Saradomin helped Guthix create the world. His first physical steps on Gielinor, though, happened at the start of the Second Age, after Guthix had fallen asleep on the island of Entrana, hence the reason for the Saradomin church and the devout monk population that lives there. Entrana is also involved in some 9 old-school RuneScape quests. With him came the race of Icene and the Centaurs. He is often depicted on statues as an old man with a long beard, and bearing the emblem of a 4-pointed star. His colors are blue, gold, and white, which can be seen on many of the Saradomin-aligned armor sets. While some of his followers are pacifists, that is simply not the case for Saradomin, as he and his followers are probably involved in more wars than even Bandos, the god of war. Numerous other gods and races came to Gielinor during the Second Age, but the most notable would be Zaros, which makes sense as the Second Age is often referred to as the Golden Age of Zaros. And Saradomin would be in constant conflict with Zaros during this time. At the start of the Second Age, the powerful race of Icene conquered much of Mortania, and established a great Saradomin stronghold in what is now eastern Mortania called Hollow Vale, within which the Hallowed Sepulchre was built as a final resting place for many of Saradomin's religious order. This stronghold would be the staging point for many battles with Zaros and his rapidly expanding empire as he attempted to take over all of Gielinor. As the battle with Zaros deteriorated, Saradomin utilized spies, with the two most notable being Lanissa and Dalek, who for better or worse were instrumental in supplying the Staff of Armadale to Zamorak, one of Zaros' Majorat generals, which he then used to betray his master and ascend to godhood. Saradomin made a shaky alliance with Zamorak, and together they were able to conquer Zaros' kingdom, officially ending the Second Age of Gielinor. The Third Age was kicked off with the commencement of the God Wars. Saradomin and the newly ascended god Zamorak were prone to disagreement, and with the defeat of the common enemy, Zaros, they began to fight over who should control Gielinor. Saradomin boasted a long list of devoted and powerful followers during the God Wars, some of the most notable being the Barrows brothers, the Justiciars, and the Imkando dwarves. The huge conflict that started between Saradomin and Zamorak eventually expanded to include several other gods that were also vying for dominion over all of Gielinor. One notable conflict between Saradomin and Zamorak that the effects of can still be seen today is the defeat of the Icene by the vampires. This happened early on in the God Wars, which resulted in the downfall of the great Saradomin stronghold of Hollowvale, which is still ruled over by the vampires even in the Fifth Age. Speaking of the Icene, the last remaining full-blooded one, Commander Ziliana, can be found in the recently thawed God Wars dungeon, still fighting for Saradomin's glory to this very day. One other instance of a half-blood Icene is Saphilan Hallow, who leads the Sanguinesti division of the Marquis. Though Saradomin experienced much victory during the God Wars, he ultimately lost, just like all the other gods, when Guthix awoke from his slumber, and banished them all from Gielinor with the Edicts of Guthix, before returning back to sleep. This began what is known as the Fourth Age, or the Godless Age. Even with the banishment of the gods, the followers of each continued to battle and war with each other throughout the Fourth Age. Finally, shortly after the rediscovery of runecrafting by human mages, the Fifth Age began, or the Age of the Humans. Saradomin remains a very relevant character, even in the current age of RuneScape, being probably one of the most worshipped and referred to of the gods. Many relics remain from the God Wars, including all of the Barrows brothers' gear, Justiciar gear, Saradomin's God Sword, the Saradomin Sword, and many more. Some notable followers that are still around today include the Wise Old Man, King Roland III, King Tyrus, and Sir Amic Vars. Although his current location is unknown, he remains in the hearts of many of the denizens of Gielinor.